It is me. You are safe.
Angel? Why are you here?
Look at the height
I could
difference.
ask you the same. Did you come all the way here to hide the standing Buddha?
He's wearing
How
normal
did you
shoes, it
know
seems, that
that?
are not padded.
Long story.
And she's also
Anyway,
on lower ground right
you
now.
shouldn't
And
get
look at
rid of
her
that.
height compared to Eve's
Why
height.
don't you talk it out with him?
Like
If
Eve
you
on
say
flat.
so, I'll do it.
Eve is almost the exact same size actually. If you put both of them on exactly the same height on the ground, and then you also take Eve's heels out, she's almost exactly the same size as Aren. You know? A small child, by the way. Hello? Or a little girl, as was the droid's description.
I'm not sure he'll listen to me.
He will.
Arin, what on earth were you thinking? Surely you didn't.
Wait. It's not what you think. I think you should hear what she has to say first.
Arin?
Dad, this object is definitely cursed. You stare at this all day, mumbling, and you fight people. This thing doesn't protect us. It is
You
breaking
stare
us
at this
apart.
thing all
We
day
used
and
to
you
be
fight people.
Happy without it.
Kind of contradictory to what her diary was saying earlier.
So I tried to hide it away forever. But eventually
Unless he was
brought it
religiously
back.
mumbling and almost possessed in his mind. By like
You're right,
being
my
so
sunshine.
being so
I should've known
obsessed
you'd never
by
take something
the
from me without good
feeling
reason.
of like
I'm
a
ashamed
certain
of myself.
spirit of something, some
so
kind that was
sorry,
telling him to
Aaron.
do stuff, you know?
Dad,
As he
Angel,
himself said, he believes
will
that
you
it
take this?
embodies Mother's fear,
You
or
can either
Arin
keep
said
it
anyway.
or throw it away.
Okay. I'll take it.
How was he so
Thank you.
smitten by such an object though?
thank you, Angel.
No problem. I just want you and your father to be happy, okay?
Okay.
That is literally any person towards anybody else's relationship when they are strangers that you do not care about otherwise. You
Welcome,
want them
Angel.
to have as good life as possible.
I opened the store again thanks
Or, you
to
know,
you.
be as happy as possible.
Stop
And if you
by
don't, then the
anytime.
problem is you. Or maybe you are envious. Maybe that's another one. If you don't want happiness or prosperity for somebody else that you do not know personally, then it's likely that you are the problem. Or maybe you have been like groomed into believing or disliking those types of people, you know? By the society. That's also possible, of course. Scavenger Ian's second note on the E protocol. I must say, the Angel's memory was conveniently lacking a few important details. She didn't know a thing about the history before the final war and about the old humankind. Is it because she's a weapon who doesn't need to know more than what is required for her mission? Well, they're not exactly great weapons if they keep failing their mission. All those meaningless deaths and failures. At this point, I really wanted to ask Mother Sphere herself what in the hell she's been doing the past few decades, or so to perfect her magnum opus, the E protocol. May your memories live on forever, may we find salvation. You don't think that's as Mother Sphere's bullcrap? I was gonna say something about that may your memories live on forever, maybe find salvation. But I think there's some kind of like straw man construing or construation that I would have from that. And it's a message that I've already said before, so I'm just gonna not say it. Because I've already mentioned it before on one of my many other highlights or thoughts about this game's story.
Angel, my humble establishment
Ooh,
is at
white
your service.
dress. Nice. Still got the same footstep sound, which means that I will likely not use this. Any other reskins?
I'm so glad to see you
Ooh,
again.
yellow
Ren
one
and
of
I
these,
have been
white
hard at
one of
work to
these.
keep this place going.
Widows Company promotion. Do you want to know who we are? We don't just think, we create a new way of thinking. We are our companions, we are our friends, lover, family. We are always by your side. We march ever onward toward a brighter future. Nothing is impossible, nothing limits us. Eros Kommari, the leader in human innovation. Kind of ominous, that one. Who we are. Almost seems like that was somehow almost lobbied or encouraged by, you know, the relationship between Raphael Marx and Mother Sphere. Also, why do these books have the year 2024 engraved on them? Is that literally just a meta reference from the developers from the year the game was published? Okay. Book of Quotes. Our innovation is for the betterment of humanity, and betterment of humanity is our way to inner. Do you see the moon? The orbit elevator can be seen right below it, though it may look like just a little stick from here. I would imagine that that second paragraph is something that Raphael Marx may have even said to somebody like Mother Sphere. Though I think, despite Mother Sphere, you know, being his child, kind of, you know, I don't think Mother Sphere herself feels like she's a successor in the sense of like being being posterity for Raphael Marx, you know? You know? I think she feels more like a friend or like a comrade, colleague to Raphael Marx than, you know, an actual like child or children. What the fuck am I saying? Daughter of Raphael Marx. Mother Sphere's wisdom and power enabled her to read the future, and she told her readings of the future to her followers like an oracle. I tried investigating her zealots, looking for evidence in order to uncover the truth, yet I failed to do so. However, I eventually made some progress, which I leave here to aid my fellow truth seekers. Find the hidden cave in the Grand Canyon and the secret cave in the Great Canyon. Find the forgotten chapters of trial there. Well, that's literally hints for finding where the chapters of trial are in the Wasteland area, which we already have. Inequality, oppression, and immorality. There are things in this world that cannot be solved by a single free will. I will combine them all with Mother Sphere and banish them with our unified wisdom. That's how our faith was born. What? This almost feels like it's... like the perspective that this is written from makes me almost feel like this is Raphael Marx's writing. But at the same time, Raphael Marx or Adam himself, he doesn't believe in Mother Sphere's doctrine whatsoever. Like, Mother Sphere's like doctrine is something that he did not invent, I don't think. It's one of the things with Mother Sphere that I don't think he ever had a say in. Like, Mother Sphere herself probably realized and started to like abuse her like status, like eventually after the victory on the second to the final war, you know? When she won her first battle with after declaring a new humankind for androids, right? So like, I feel like after doing that, Mother Sphere noticed, like, through the decades of working with Raphael Marx, how much humans long to understand, like, their own, like, insignificance through, like, bigger words or like, worldviews, you know? So that they have some kind of, like, common, like, solidarity or, like, common, like, social customs and traditions that unite a, you know, certain group of people, like, worldwide even, you know? She realized how much people longed for this kind of solace. So she's abusing this, like, religious, like, factor in her own, like, you know, agenda. Like, she's literally abusing that to control the people and, like, provide them with comfort, you know? So that they are... so that the amount of naysayers and people who think otherwise would be lessened, I guess, or more like suppressed maybe by the majority of people who align with Mother Sphere's doctrine, I guess we can say. That is actually very clever. I don't think Raphael Marx ever taught her something about that. Because Raphael Marx is a man of science, you know, Adam is a man of science. He's not a religious baboon. In fact, he despises religion, in fact. Like, that's something that is actually very evident throughout the entire game whenever, like, Mother Sphere, religion, doctrine, any of that is mentioned in front of him. He's always extremely, like... He's almost extremely, like, shushed or, like, cynical towards, like, any religious, like, material throughout the entire game. On all of the side quests inside the game, like, one example, for example, would be, like, the anti-colony radicals, like, messages about the cradle, and, you know, Oracle using his power and his status to, like, control the free people of Zion and suppress the Freedom Liberation Alliance's, like, you know, human rights and, like, that kind of stuff. Like, that quest also has some, like, Mother Sphere, like, fanaticism bullcrap in it, as well as Felix's quests also. All of Felix's and Francis's quests are obviously, like, filled with, like, biblical fanaticism, and every single time when Eve says something about those, or Adam is forced, or he feels like he's forced to say something or react himself, he's always extremely, like, shushed or extremely, like, negative towards this subject every time. Like, he himself, like, makes it quite clear with how he reacts that he is not a man of God himself, and he doesn't believe in that bullcrap. You know, he is a man of science after all, right? So, it is really something that Mother Sphere herself must have just noticed at some point throughout the decades of how, like, you know, organic humans have, like, these different worldviews that are so important for them, you know? And now she just uses that as, like, you know, a facilitator for her, like, raising to power, you know? And her keeping her status as well as all of her subordinates, like, all of her subordinates insubordination away from her, you know, in this, you know, surviving colonies of Earth, and, you know, all of these, like, earthly colonies that have, you know, erected with all of these different communities that share Mother Sphere's bullcrap. Like, all of those are, like, the majority of those are definitely, like, you know, omnipotent with Mother Sphere's presence in them, you know? And that's what Mother Sphere wants. But that's not what Adam likes, you know? Mother Sphere's manipulation on that aspect, for sure. Religion. When the sorrow of the day, the sky collapsed, is forgotten, when the wisdom of the mother is buried in the debris, when those who were left behind are no longer remembered, and when survival, oblivion, and despair become as one, angels shall descend from the sky. See, this once again, this seems like, just like the Trials of Chapter, this seems like it's, it seems like it's meta talk. It's too much in retrospect, and it's too, like... Dude, I almost feel like some of these are, like, written somewhat, like, from, like, I feel like some of these might even be transcribed from, like, some, like, providence or, like, some foresight from, like, Mother Sphere's predictions on how E-Protocol maybe happens, or, like, the events of how E-Protocol comes to be maybe eventually. Like, it's almost a foretelling of that. The light that shined ever so brightly has gone missing into the darkness. The colony is light, the glorious time of the universe. So what if we can't go back to the past? We will not be sad. We will remain in this world and sing for the mother. Okay, I mean, that in the other hand, compared to the other one, okay, the other one was a bit more obscure on, you know, the foretelling of the future, I guess, you know? It wasn't as much as, the, you know, the Trials of Chapter, maybe, so that one can be kind of like, you know, maybe it's a bit more, like, consistent with the world building of the game, you know? Or the world of Sterile Blade. This one, on the other hand, this one seems like some religious bullcrap, this thing. Did I interact with this standing Indian, I guess? I think I did, long time ago. Or, no, I didn't. Or maybe Lily Bar went up twice because of the books I read on the shop.